people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Withdraw into yourself, as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. It is not that we have so little time but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short but we make it so. We are not ill-provided but use what we have wastefully. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place but to be a different person. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them but because we had them. If you live in harmony with nature you will never be poor. If you live according what others think, you will never be rich. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that they are difficult. Nothing is burdensome if taken lightly, and nothing need arouse one's irritation so long as one doesn't make it bigger than it is by getting irritated. You should live in such a way that there is nothing which you could not as easily tell your enemy as keep to yourself. He who has injured thee was either stronger or weaker than thee. If weaker, spare him; if stronger, spare thyself. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place but to be a different person. Philosophy calls for simple living, not for doing penance, and the simple way of life need not be a crude one. What's the use of overcoming opponent after opponent in the wrestling or boxing rings if you can be overcome by your temper? Similarly, too rich a soil makes the grain fall flat, branches break down under too heavy a load, excessive productiveness does not bring fruit to ripeness. No good thing is pleasant to possess, without friends to share it. By overloading the body with food you strangle the soul and render it less active. The man who spends his time choosing one resort after another in a hunt for peace and quiet will in every place he visits find something to prevent him from relaxing. In the ashes all men are leveled. We're born unequal, we die equal. Humanity is the quality which stops one being arrogant towards one's fellows, or being acrimonious. Believe me, if you consult philosophy she will persuade you not to lit so long at your counting desk. Any man, he says, who does not think that what he has is more than ample, is an unhappy man, even if he is the master of the whole world. What then is good? The knowledge of things. What is evil? The lack of knowledge of things. What is freedom, you ask? It means not being a slave to any circumstance, to any constraint, to any chance. It prove, and an easy task it is, that so-called pleasures, when they go beyond a certain limit, are but punishments. For a delight in bustling about is not industry, it is only the restless energy of a hunted mind. And the state of mind that looks on all activity as tiresome is not true repose, but a spineless inertia. The wise man, he said, lacked nothing but needed a great number of things, whereas the fool, on the other hand, needs nothing, for he does not know how to use anything, but lack everything. To make Pythocles rich, do not add to his store of money, but subtract from his desires. Happy is the man who can make others better, not merely when he is in their company, but even when he is in their thoughts. We are mistaken when we look forward to death. The major portion of death has already passed, whatever years be behind us are in death's hands. Anyone who likes may make things easier for himself by viewing them with equanimity. A good man will not waste himself upon mean and discreditable work or be busy merely for the sake of being busy. Pleasure, unless it has been kept within bounds, tends to rush headlong into the abyss of sorrow. We are weak, watery beings standing in the midst of unrealities, therefore let us turn our minds to the things that are everlasting. All things were ready for us at our birth, it is we that have made everything difficult for ourselves, through our disdain for what is easy. And if you want to know why all this running away cannot help you, the answer is simply this: you are running away in your own company. To live under constraint is a misfortune, but there is no constraint to live under constraint. Therefore, my dear Lucilius, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. He who has thus prepared himself, he whose daily life has been a rounded whole, is easy in his mind. For those who follow nature everything is easy and straightforward, whereas for those who fight against her life is just like rowing against the stream. If we do not want to be overwhelmed and struck numb by rare events as if they were unprecedented ones, fortune needs envisaging in a thoroughly comprehensive way. You must linger among a limited number of master thinkers, and digest their works, if you would derive ideas which shall win firm hold in your mind. Where you arrive does not matter so much as what sort of person you are when you arrive there. I can show you a philter, compounded without drugs, herbs, or any witch's incantation. If you want to be loved, love. Think for a long time whether or not you should admit a given person to your friendship. But when you have decided to do so, welcome him heart and soul, and speak as unreservedly with him as you would with yourself. Spurn everything that is added by way of decoration and display by unnecessary labor. Recollect that nothing merits admiration except the spirit, the impressiveness of which prevents it from being impressed by anything. A man who examines the saddle and bridle and not the animal itself when he is out to buy a horse is a fool. Similarly, only an absolute fool values a man according to his clothes, or according to his social position, which after all is only something that we wear like clothing. Peace you can claim for yourself without being disliked by anyone, without any sense of loss, and without any pangs of spirit. Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" It makes no difference how important the provocation may be, but into what kind of soul it penetrates. Similarly with fire, it does not matter how great is the flame, but what it falls upon. No one dies except on his own day. You are throwing away none of your own time, for what you leave behind does not belong to you.